What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So I've unlocked Madeline Pryor, and I think this is very important given the fact that it does require us to revisit the Epic Quest pack. At current, the Epic Quest, I think there was a lot of negative feelings going around about it. I know there was a lot of negative feelings going around, specifically because of the way the pack was handled. Essentially, this is one of the most expensive Epic Quests in the history of the game. Rachel Summers will cost most players who do not have her or were not able to get her from the danger room. I think we had some like 30,000 new downloads for the game between Android and iOS last month. And when you look at that, that means there's a lot of new players who are going to be enticed by this X-Men update. And then they basically have to get Rachel Summers in order to have access to the Goblin Queen. And that's an additional like 3,000 plus crystals. And then you have the Hope Summers, the Havoc, and the Exodus characters that you need to level up, along with the Cyclops, who basically didn't receive a uniform tier 4, which puts a bad taste in the mouth. And then you're forced to level up a character who just has no viability in any game mode in the game other than Shadowland. And Exodus is kind of bad, but she does become important because the mid-month update is guaranteeing you a Madeline Pryor who will be tier 4, who will probably become a PvP meta staple. If you just take a look at her kit, but she is going to probably be one of the most expensive characters. In fact, I don't think I even have enough gold to complete this character. Like, from the cost of what characters were previously, I don't think I have enough. I just simply don't. I mean, yeah, there's just, you're not going to convince me that I don't. So I want to take you through leveling up the character right now, so that way we can see is exactly what it is that we're getting here for the character. You can automatically see where I'm at with Phoenix feathers and where I'm at with gold. I am under no impression right now that I have enough to meet this demand. I just don't think that I do. Oh man, so we need another additional Phoenix feathers inside of here. Oh, this is going to be painful. Yo, you use Gilgamesh. I don't think we're coming back to Gilgamesh anytime soon. Oof, 800. Because remember, she is a native tier 2. This is going to be painful. We'll go with War Machine. I don't want to go too low on War Machine because there is the possibility, at the very least, we'll skip that, of, you know, Madeline Pryor 1200, Jesus, of Rhodey basically rejoining us in some type of regard, probably if they release Armor Wars or something like that. So we could hope, I guess. Psylocke, I don't want to touch her either because I'm always hopeful of Bay getting some kind of love. Who do we want to steal from Peter the Game Paul? I don't want to touch him because Defenders is now canon. We may be able to see something. We'll go with Moon Girl. Rank up. Oh, that's expensive. That's expensive. So you can see that this is just to get her to 6-star, and I'm already down about 30,000 gold already. Oh man. So we got to max her out with 5. Oof. Expensive. So we're down 84. So about 40,000 in gold to get Madeline Pryor just to level 55. Let's see. And then who are we going to use? I don't want to use Kid Omega just because he's a little bit harder to get stuff for. We'll go with, holy shit. Who to use? We're gonna have to dip into a lot of these. I'm always hopeful that they're coming back around to my man XG Phantom X. I don't think we're gonna see Magneto anytime soon. But no, you know, I'm not gonna use Magneto. You know, I'll have to use. Jesus, I don't want to do this. No, because I got a tier 3 Sin at some point. All right, Thor. We'll go with Thor, we'll go with Ultron, and we'll go with Jane Foster. There we go. Woohoo! We'll recoup some crystals for her. And now here goes the part where you're going to run into troubles with building out the rest of this character. Is essentially she's sitting at level 60, tier 2. You've got to level up the rest of her gear, and this is going to be a doozy. We'll come back to it because I just got a feeling I'm not going to have enough. Oh man, this is hurting. This is going to hurt. I think I'm going to be completely dried out after this. So we'll relay enhance to get to 20. Okay, 5, that's not bad. 12. 1, that's a nice roll right there. 22, hit your boy hard on the 22. That was, 22 was not where it was at. Like, let's be honest with you, 22 was just, ugh. Nobody wants to see that. 6, okay, not so bad. 6 again. 7, I like those numbers. 13, not too bad, not too shabby. 7, good. Good, that's a good roll. But it's usually the first and the fourth gear that usually is the worst. So we may have made out there. 2, 8, 1, 15, ugh. 18, those are bad rolls right there, but we'll have enough basically to get her here. And then let's see, 3, 5, 3, 4, these are good numbers, and 8, I like those numbers. Okay, that made me happy. That made me happy. So we'll say okay to that. And now, okay, so we've got her here. So now here goes the problem that you're going to have with Madeline Pryor, especially if you're unlocking her now at this point. You can't use a first potential realization ticket on her. Not unless, I think they might have one where you can, you know, do it for the in the game. You're going to have to search her first potential through world boss clears. This is probably going to take some time. Specifically, I think because she's a native tier 2, you're probably going to roll into where you're, unless you just happen to get really lucky, you're probably rolling into the percentages of where you're going to probably be like 16 here, 13 here, 14 here. Like you're probably looking at those numbers, maybe even like the 4% numbers. I think I normally see like 4 and somewhere between 4 and 15 is usually where the percent is happening. So this could take you up to 4 or 5 days in order to realize this potential. And at the same token for that, you're going to end up having to realize that potential again immediately to get her to tier 4, which is the reason why these potentials are just like painful as hell. Now, I'm at 73,000. This is hurting me so bad. I think her light touch skill, there's not anything there, so you could probably avoid leveling that one up if you're short on gold. Her 2 skill, you're probably gonna have to level this up because that's where the counter attack ability is on that skill, and it enables, so you have to level that skill up. 3, 4, and 5. Let's be honest, 3, 4, and 5, you're always gonna have to level up, regardless of what you feel about those things. Skills are always important for 3, 4, and 5. So we literally at about 62,000 less in gold right now just to get Madeline situated appropriately. We can't hit the rank till we realize her potential. We'll have to go for a set bonus. Let's go with a power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive. It doesn't really make a difference, to be honest, with my account. Hopefully this doesn't take forever and a day. Okay, so that didn't take long. We got a power of the Angry Hulk, so that was really good. So we can go, before we equip the set bonus, I want to show you guys exactly the reason why I'm saying, like, these days with accounts, right? Like, I'm initially building that account. You see she's got nothing equipped to her as of yet, but already we're at 130 on attack speed. We're at 200% for crit damage. Our ignore defense is maxed out. We're just about there for cooldown duration, and we're maxed out on dodge. And I have not touched the character in terms of like putting any type of uru or anything like that on her. So now we can go in here, we can apply some of these ISO 8s directly onto her. So we'll go with all basic attack on her. We'll go with an all basic attack as well for red. For blue, oh shit, I didn't realize I only have physical defenses. I don't want to, let's change the option on this one. let's change the option. You basically only have physical defense or what you call, so we'll change that option on that one. We'll give her all basic defense on here. Like, this is a tier character, you know you're taking a tier 4, so you might as well just do that. Wow, I don't even have like a crit rate one that's sitting in here that's awakened already. And then we'll go with these final 3. So inside those, we saw that the places that we're missing out really is crit rate and cooldown. So I don't need the dodge. So even though I've got a crit rate dodge one right here, like typically if I have those, what I'm likely to go with is like some crit rate and HP. I always like to go HP for the characters. It's never bad to go crit rate and dodge, but if you have others that you can go with, just stay away from like the energy defense stuff inside of here. That's always a good one. Getting out of the lane here on stuff that I won't have to awaken, and I don't have that many awaken Uru inside of here. Jesus, I hate that. I hate that. All right, so I don't have exactly what I want to, so we're just gonna go here, crit rate dodge, and then I'm gonna throw on this energy attack. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. We got another crit rate and dodge. I'm just gonna put that one on there. All right, so we'll have to awaken these, but you can see I'm real low on awakenings inside of here. So like if I was to relay awaken this, it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg, but which is what I was trying to avoid. Yeah, let's relay awaken it, finish it. This is a tier 4, so you're gonna want to take the character complete conclusion there for that. So we can look at her details inside of here. Now you can see I'm maxed out just from ISO 8 on her crit rate, her crit damage, her ignore defense, attack speed, and dodge. So now we're gonna take a look at, we know we're gonna put an artifact on her. Custom gear is gonna be highly dependent upon you know, PvP build. What you could be looking at for like her custom gear specifically in here is maybe like a CTP of greed. You're definitely going to want to put a mighty or brilliant CTP on her. You could also probably go with a CTP of authority inside of here. I have yet to use CTP of conquest at all on any characters. I don't really know where this where it really fits, but I like the bottom ability here where you see wall, where it says decrease damage received by 70%, reduce damage decrease by 5% with each hit taken with the minimum damage. So like realistically to me, there's some viability there for that to possibly be PvP, especially because it has the guard break immunity. It's got some of the recovery rate inside there, and you know, the recovery of 5% HP. So like it looks like it's pretty good in terms of like putting that on. I don't know, maybe I'll try that with her. She has no uniform, so you can see I'm not getting any stats at all from her. So roughly right now we're at about 58 million. So that means that roughly this is not even taking her to tier 4. Just to get this character tier 3 was a little over 65 million in gold just to do this, and we're still not finished. So next up we have to do is take a look at the character's Uru sleep shots. So trust me, this is a character that you're probably going to be using inside PvP, PvP for that slot more often than not. So this is going to be one of those characters where you want to start looking at whether or not you're going to amplify these to 5 or whether you're going to amplify them to 4. I'm still not telling you that there's any value in using this amplifier, so I'm going to just take it to 4 for now, which is where I tend to just take all of my slots to, is try to get that amplification to 4. So we see the 4 from there. I'm happy with that. She didn't get the 5, but it is what it is. So okay, so I got the 4 from that, so cool. All right, and then let's see where we go with this one. Can I get the 4 from this one in the first go? Yep, there we go. Now she didn't get any 5s. That's crazy. I was hoping she was going to get 5s. So this is how we're going to build out the characters start off with, right? So let's start over here with this one. You're basically looking at air energy attacks, right? So she's an energy attack based character. We're going to equip 2 energy attack Urus per gear. That's like bottom line. This is what you're going to do. At the very least, 2 of these energy attacks per gear. All right, that's going to boost up your total energy attack overall. If you have an no. If you have an a laundry list of Odin's blessings, then you could throw those mixtures of that on her as much as you want to. I don't have it like that, so I'm not doing that. So I think I had like, yeah, so it says I have 77 of these Odin's blessings, and somehow I got lucky and got an Odin's blessing of flame, like when I was doing my what do you call those damn things where you now I can't even remember. Anyways, so the one area that we saw a detriment that she didn't have was skill cooldown. She probably still deficient inside of that right now because I haven't found a way to make up for it yet, but this is where you can do that by going back into the character gear now and basically making up some ground. So Madeline Pryor is going to be a T4 PvP character for you, and you absolutely need the skill cooldown, so you might as well throw one of those on her and complete the skill cooldown inside of here. Now, what you can be looking at as well for any of these, for any of her other ones, is what else could you be using? Like maybe some of these physical attack, energy attacks, you can use those inside of there. You're not going to get the best of it, but it, you know, it's kind of like a throwaway ESO to me at this point, right? If you needed to ignore attack right here, I think what I'm going to do is probably throw an energy attack on her. I was saving that for Richard Rider, to be honest with you. I think that's what I was doing. So this really depends on like what it is that you want to see inside here for the character. Now, what I like to do once I figure out what it is, I don't think she has fire damage skills like that. Let me see how many fire damage skills she has. No, mind damage. Nope. So she's not going to be a character for like any of that because there's no flame damage on her skills. I'm actually surprised about that. Okay, I'm surprised about that a little bit, just a little bit. So what you're going to do once you have the character slot set up this way and you figure out whether or not you want to throw a shit ton of Odin's blessings at her or you want to slow your roll and not do that, it's going to be completely up to you how you proceed. At some point, I'm going back in and I'm going to take the Odin's blessings that I have and I'm going to throw them on the characters as I deem fit. I just haven't gotten to that point yet, so yeah, so for now I'm just going to leave her this way. But what I'm going to do to make sure as well is something else that I like to do is I like to round out my characters with HP Urus. Once I know those stats are there and I'm good to go, I usually tend to just come back in here and I'll throw on 2 of these HP Urus for each slot, so that way they just have a greater HP pool. And that way I have a little bit better survivability, I guess. It all depends on what you want to look at, but you're going to take this character tier 4, you definitely want to take a look at it and have that advantage. So now you can see inside here, because of my cards, because of my swords, because of all of the things, I basically now have this character fully maxed out on all stats, and she doesn't even have a uniform. So this is the reason why I keep arguing for a transmog system in this game, because at this point uniforms have lost at least half of their value in terms of like the uniform options. The rest of the uniform basically is coming into optimization, and then the amount of work that the team puts behind that they're putting behind the VFX inside the skill, which the VFX guys are always knocking it out the park. So it is what it is. Now, in terms of gears, this is completely going to be completely like one of those things where you fit in. I almost want to try to put a CTP of Conquest on her. Like, you know, CTP of Greed, not too bad. Increase all basic attacks. So I could ignore enemies damage decrease by 35%. For ambush on her with this one, or just leave it alone with the other reforge option. Increase basic damage. I'm not really sure what I want to do for this, so I'm just going to leave it alone for now. I know I'm not using her inside PvP, so it really doesn't really make a difference. I got to get her up to tier 3 before she does anything. So this is one of the ways in which you could go about building your characters. Once you figure out what it is that you want to do, what you want to do with them, it becomes very easy to figure out how you're going to target the character inside here. this is good. And so now you can see I'm sitting at a nice 1313. If you're having really hard time trying to figure out how to build characters and stuff like that, it's really nice that they added in the board here, the ranking board, because if I have questions about what it is I want to do, it's easy for me to pull up the #1 player. For instance, I can look at how that person has their character built out. So see, like here you go. So he's using a brilliant CTP of Conquest on her. You know, got Clash, so he increases basic damage by 90%. Now that buff, basically the 80% of concentration, you throw that out the window because most people are searching for the other buffs. But she also gains the wall ability inside here with the decreased basic damage received by 100%, and she reduces that. And then you can see the recovery, 20% HP, and all the other stats that's there. That's rolled, so that's not bad. You can also take a look at the gears and stuff. So like you can see here where I was talking about, like I like to throw at least the energy attack on them, but if you are goated out because your wallet's heavy like this dude, then you can just basically replace all of those things inside of there and just boost up stats artificially. But this is a good reason for why you don't necessarily need to be like looking at trying to play catch up with the Joneses, because you're just not going to catch up with the Joneses in that. It's just not going to happen. Good overall build here on the character. And then you can see already this dude's got a 5-star Madeline Pryor sitting at 20. You're never going to catch up with these players, so trying to chase after them doesn't make sense. WNG Love Manny normally is like in the top for characters all the time. My man's just pockets deep, and you can see here he's got a brilliant CTP of Authority basically on a character, so decrease all damage received by 60%. She gets the guard break immunity, critical damage inside of there, and then increase all attacks, which seems like a lesser version of CTP of Conquest now that I look at it. And you can see all of the Urus that he basically has, and he has a 5-star with the destruction on there. So I usually tend to like to do that for characters because it at the very least gives you an idea and direction for where you may want to take your character overall. And here we go with another brilliant CTP of Conquest. Like, you're not going to keep up with these players. Like, you're just not. It's, don't even bother and try. Just basically fill out your roster the best way that you can see fit. So like realistically, I've kept these CTPs. Let's go in here. I've kept these brilliant CTPs of Conquest in here for quite a while. Like I've had them in here for a hot minute now. Let's see. Bing. Mighty CTP. We knew it was going to be a mighty CTP, but we get a bad stat inside of here because we don't get the stat that we want, because the stat that we really want is going to be that clash, because we want to get the clash stat to increase all basic attack, basically maxing out at basic attack and what you call at 20 isn't necessarily bad, but I'm well down at like 12%. Not exactly the stats that we want, but then you can see inside of here like the other stats, like recovery rate. Mine, the max is 90. Mine is sitting at 79. Not too bad, but we do have the recovery of 5% HP instead of 10%. We definitely want that. And then you can see the 20% increase of max HP. That's only sitting at 15 for us, so we want to kind of hit those. And then you can see the decreased damage received is 80. Now obviously the stats would be better if we had a brilliant CTP of Conquest, but alas, we don't, so it is what it is. But we can now equip that to Madeline and start setting her up for our PvP initiative. Basically, we'll have Jean and Madeline running around and just swatting people. And if you end up not having Jean and Madeline, guess what? You'll be back at a bus real hard at that point. So don't forget about the artifact that is going to be sitting inside there. And if you're going to build a character, you're definitely going to want to have at least access to that 4-star artifact, since it basically gives her the immortal effect. So make sure you do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looking forward to some Madeline Pryor. I'm glad that they've basically gave her T4. Hopefully it's not just hamstrung together T4 in terms of them reacting to players being pissed off about, you know, the update, and that is an actual viable and good T4. But the T4 stats alone is going to make her worth having, not to mention her skills inside the game. You know, these are really good skills. I'll give you guys an additional breakdown of Madeline once I do get her to tier 4, but you can see, like I said, it's going to be a very expensive expensive character. I expect over the course of building her to get her to tier 4, she is going to literally break my bank, and you're looking at probably 150 to 200,000 character build for, you know, Madeline prior getting her up to tier 4. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.